Good morning, and welcome to the Morning Breath Livestream, where we start our day with coherence. I'm your host, Jeremy Tennell, systems designer and coherence coach. And this is week 10, day 47 of our 14-week journey entitled The Path of Personal Transformation. And today, we are talking about the difference between urgency and importance. Because most people don't lose alignment when things are hard, they lose it when things move too fast. You don't lose yourself in pressure. You lose yourself in urgency because urgency removes space. And without space, you don't choose, you react. There have been moments where I knew exactly who I wanted to be. Clear, grounded, intentional. But then things started to move too fast. A decision needed to be made. A response needed to happen. Something unexpected showed up. I once found myself in need of a new job. The bills were piling up. No money was rolling in. The stress was rising, and I allowed myself to go from making an important decision to an urgent one. And instead of staying aligned, I sped up. I rushed the response. I skipped the pause, and I bypassed my awareness. And I took the first thing that came my way. I knew the moment I stepped into this new role, I could see it clearly. This role was not a good fit for me. And it wasn't misalignment from confusion. It was misalignment from misplaced urgency. Urgency compresses awareness. And when awareness gets compressed, alignment disappears. Because alignment requires several things. It requires space, the kind of space in which you can only create through presence and breath, which in turn allows for choice. But urgency says, decide now, respond now, fix it now. And when you operate inside that, you don't access your values. You access your patterns. This is a trap most people don't see. They think the problem is pressure. But the real issue is this. They never train themselves to stay slow internally while the external world moves so fast. So what happens? The environment sets the pace, and the moment the environment speeds up, so do you, which means your nervous system leads, not your intention or your cognitive system. And once that happens, you're no longer choosing, you're executing whatever is most practiced. From a systems perspective, speed increases automaticity. The faster the system moves, the less time there is for intervention. So if your loop is some sort of stimulus with a rapid reaction, that leads to a reinforcing pattern. Speed locks the loop in place. But if you introduce self-inquiry, which leads to pause, which leads to self-regulation, you now have your choice back, even in the midst of a highly important situation. You've interrupted the system, not by controlling the environment, but by controlling your internal tempo. And this is the shift. Speed in the system does not require speed in yourself. That is the discipline at work. Culturally, we've rewarded speed, quick responses, fast decisions, immediate availability. Our email is always on. Our phone dings and we react. We rush to the deadline only to pick up the pieces in the aftermath. We equate urgency with importance, but it is not the same thing. Over time, we condition ourselves to believe, if I don't move fast, I'm falling behind. But here's the cost. Speed trains reactivity. It trains shallow thinking, reactive decision-making, and negative pattern reinforcement. When we confuse importance with urgency, we allow speed to take over. So even when you want to change, you've trained yourself through speed to move too fast to access it. So today, don't just ask yourself if you're aligned. Ask yourself, can I stay aligned when things speed up? Because that's the real test. Not your clarity in calm moments, but your ability to slow down inside when everything around you is accelerating. Find some time with your journals today and explore some questions. Where in my life do I feel pressure to move too fast? Where is my attention constantly being pulled in urgent ways? And what is the difference between what is important in my life and what is urgent? What would it look like to slow down internally in that moment? And before we move into breath work, I want to point you in a direction for self-reflection. We all have mobile phones. We're all dealing with this and working with this technology. Are you managing that cell phone, or is it just managing you? I'll give you an example. Is your ringer always on? Is every single notification turned on? Do you pick it up every time it dings? Look at your weekly report that your phone provides. Look at the number of pickups. How often are you picking this thing up to look at the screen? How often are you reacting to its beckoning call? I highly recommend that you start there. Manage this device. Don't let it manage you. Let's move into our breath work. Find a comfortable seat. Let's roll your shoulders, shift your hips. Let's take one inhale through our nose, exhale with a sigh. Again, exhale and let it all out. Place your hand over your heart. Inhale for 5 seconds through your nose. Exhale through your mouth for 6 seconds. For 6, exhale for 6. Keep that pattern up and introduce gratitude silently in your mind. I am thankful for today. Thankful for the sunrise. Thankful for the birds chirping outside. Thankful for the opportunities today brings. I am thankful for my support system. Keep that pattern up. Expand your gratitude. Stay with this for the next few minutes. You get distracted, return to your breath space. If this resonates with you, stay with this work. Keep joining me here, because alignment isn't about knowing. It's about holding your pace when it's the hardest to. You don't lose alignment because life is hard. You lose it because you're moving too fast to hold it, because you have allowed urgency to take over importance. Slow down inside. Take a breath, and I'll see you tomorrow at 5:30 in the morning.